There's this automatic kind of a dread that we can feel when we have an uncomfortable feeling in our body and then we go into it anyway, or we're thinking about going into it anyway. Some feeling of, this was overwhelming at the time. That's why it got stored there. It's something we couldn't handle at the time, often from childhood. Or even just from, last week, we're in a setting where somebody was being critical of us and it kind of shut us down. So take a look at what's happening with that and just acknowledge that sometimes these things are difficult to be with. Energy that is painful in particular or contracted and tight can feel like it would be better left alone. And if that's the case, we're leaving it alone. We're not, this process isn't about pushing into anything. We're just letting that energy know that it's fine for it to be here. So let's start with a couple of minutes of relaxing and tuning in. As we do that, we'll notice what's happening in our body, our breath, what's happening in our thoughts. Let yourself be supported by the chair or the floor. See if you could welcome whatever it is that's happening in your body and breath right now, and also in your thoughts. There's a kind of a checking in what's happening and how do I feel about that? Am I okay with that? Am I resisting it? And when we're not completely relaxed, we can feel that in different parts of our body. Might be the forehead and the eyebrows. You could lift your forehead up, your eyebrows up a few times, and then let them relax. If your eyes are closed, we can relax the muscles of the eyes, and we also take some of the load off of the brain without any input visually. The brain has a bit less to do. Maybe we could focus on relaxing. And notice your jaw, your mouth, your tongue, your throat. In a moment, we'll be using the welcome phrases, and you might be speaking them to yourself. But for now, there's nothing that has to be said. Let that whole area soften and relax. And notice the neck, the shoulders, the back of your neck, and the back of your shoulders. All those large muscles in the upper back. And let your shoulders come up for a moment and then let them relax down. Notice that there's nothing going on at the moment that you need to protect yourself against. Your environment is safe for you right now. So you could let that whole system go off guard. And notice your chest and your stomach. Sometimes there's energy or sensation in the heart area. Most often there is in the stomach area or the gut, the navel center. And the stomach area is also a good place to monitor our breath. See if you could relax all the muscles of the belly. And just to notice as we begin, what is your breathing pattern right now? Ideally, the breath is diaphragmatic and smooth. There's no breaks or pauses in the breath, it's continuous, about the same length of the inhale and the exhale. Take a moment to anchor yourself into that, noticing just the breath for now. Notice that release that we feel as we breathe out. Everything softens and settles. And going right into the inhalation, we bring in the nourishment of the in-breath. And then right into the exhale with no holding on. Just let the breath go. And then broaden your awareness to include your whole body. And in particular, we're looking for any energy or sensation that might be present that's not entirely welcome. Or maybe it's unfamiliar. Maybe it's familiar, but it's not something that we normally really look into. Just notice your whole body and notice what's going on energetically. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell whether it's physical or energetic. There might be a pain, for instance, somewhere in our body. I used to have one between my shoulder blades at the back that turned out to be not physical at all. It was energetic. We're not really sorting ourselves out between physical and energetic. We're just looking to see what are the sensations right now in your body. And then let's take a moment to really notice the qualities of the sensation. If you don't have a sensation that's kind of coming up that you can notice, try out one of your deficiency stories. I'm unlovable. I'm not safe. People judge me. Most of those are very familiar and right at the tip of our tongue. We can go into those. And then if you do, then notice where the energy is for that in your body. Or think back to a recent time when somebody did something where you felt left out or bullied or something that happened that caused you to tighten up against it. And keep an anchor into your body and into your breath. Keep noticing your breath. And notice where the energy is, the sensation. What are the boundaries of it? Is it just a small knot of something? Is it kind of pressing out so that it's trying to get out of your body? Is it cold or hot? Do you have an image of it? What are the qualities of that sensation? How would you describe it to somebody? And does it feel like there's any malicious intention? Is it here to hurt you? Does it want to hurt you? Even if it's quite painful, notice what the intention of it is. Is there some kind of fear that it's going to hurt you or that it wants to hurt you? What is it doing here? What does it want? And then just notice whatever it is that comes up. And sometimes an energy doesn't really feel safe to go into right now, or there's some kind of a reluctance, or maybe we just drift off, we start thinking about something else. That's also very common. It's natural for that to happen if that's what's going on. And if that's the case, just notice all the space around the outside of that energy. Notice where you don't feel it anymore. Notice it doesn't take up the whole space of the body or of the universe. Energy or sensation always has a location and an ending. You could always open your eyes. There's many ways that we manage the intensity. And then as you feel moved to, start using the welcome phrases. So it's like you're talking to the energy. It's thank you for arising, or thank you for being here. I love you. You're welcome to stay. And it's natural for the mind to go into a rebuttal with that. If that happens, that's fine. Then we're just noticing that energy and honoring that energy too. Thank you for, I love you. You're welcome to stay. You can repeat it again in your mind or out loud, or simply sit with that energy, letting it know non-verbally that it's welcome, whether you're paying attention to the outside of it or the inside. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We're just sitting and exploring. Words or images might come up. Why it's here, what it means. If that's the case, we could look at those. Otherwise, we're just sitting with the energy itself, welcoming it. And sometimes when there's a reluctance or an uncomfortableness around tuning right into it, we could just honor that. And at the same time, notice what it is that could potentially happen if we were to feel it directly. If there's reluctance to go into something, there's always a reason. So, what's that reason? What might happen? And completely honor not wanting to go into it at the moment. That's absolutely fine. We're just expressing our willingness, our welcoming. We might be able to appreciate that it's here, it's part of us. Maybe it's had a function that's been helpful, it's protected us. No pressure at all to jump into something or feel something that's not quite ready to be felt. Thank you for arising. I love you. You're welcome to stay. Sometimes it's helpful to put a hand on the area where the sensation is. Feel the warmth of your hand. Oh, we're almost finished. Maybe that's a relief. Maybe there's a feeling of wanting to spend more time. We can come back to this over and over again. Sometimes with the words, sometimes just with our intention. We're open to feeling what it is that's going on in our body and to sitting with that energy in whatever form that shows up. And notice again the whole of your body, the physical body. Notice where the energy is in your body and where it is not. Sometimes energy is through the whole body, sometimes it's more localized. So just notice that again and notice your breath. You might open your eyes, look around. And then when you're ready, let the practice come to a conclusion. I think one of the most important things in this practice is to develop patience, would be one word, but another way to say it would be to not shame ourselves. So if there's an energy that's difficult or that we have trouble accessing, we might know it's there, but there's just not a availability to really go into it at the time. Or maybe we dip into it and then we come right back out, or however it is that it happens is absolutely fine. As we're ready and as it becomes safer, then that will just open up. So it's not really anything that we need to push into. And it's also very helpful to just let ourselves know and reassure ourselves that we're here, we're ready to see it whenever it's ready.